This is part 4 of 4.
And, you know, I'm hearing what you're saying about the network marketing, the home-based business. Just if you could just set it up in an organized way, how much time you would have left on your money-making activities.
Right. And, you know, most people approach the industry because there is, you know, first of all, they see the value in the industry because it's just such a great business tool. I mean, the industry itself is, to me, I just really think it's fascinating, and I think it's a very wonderful system if it's worked properly. And so people step into it because of that, but also because they have a passion for that particular product or service. And so whether it's jewelry or healthcare products or, you know, whatever it might be, that people have a real passion for those types of products and the service. And it might be that they need support in setting up the business aspect of it. And so that's what that's my mission in this particular arena.
And you say it's going to be up and running by September 1st?
It is. It's, you know, like 90% complete, and there are just a few final things that I need to do from my perspective to make sure that it's polished off and ready to go. So if people are interested in, you know, please send me an email if they want to know details on release date and as far as acquiring. But it's going to be a partial audio program and notebook so that it's checked. What it is for each one of the different segments that somebody needs to organize in their business, it's an audio of me telling them exactly how to go through it, and what they get along with it is then a checklist. Because many times people go, right, okay, I need to organize that. Well, what do I do first? What do I do second? And we follow this 5-step process, but I have thought of every single question you could even imagine that you would have to ask yourself to organize those 5 different areas of your business.
Can I just borrow your organizational glasses
Sure.
for about 2 hours? It's amazing to me how organized you are. I strive for just one-tenth of your organizational skills. Truly, Brenda, it's a gift. I mean, it's a gift. And, you know, I think I have some skills, but I'm listening to you and I'm going, holy cow, I've got a long way to go here. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm thinking, you know, I work a lot with women in network marketing. I'm thinking we may need another call just to discuss that.
Oh, I'd be happy to share it.
Because I think that you know, women in network marketing and direct sales, they can get a bit overwhelmed. And to me, the key is organization, so you can do what it takes to make money in the industry.
Right.
And it's not about sorting papers. I mean, that's not what it's about. It's not about that. It's about doing your money-making activities. And sometimes that can be a bit overwhelming when you look at all the brochures that the company has, all the training programs the company has, all the way you're supposed to book your classes and do all those things. It can be a bit overwhelming.
Right. And you know, it also, there is one other tool and resource that I didn't put on the list, but I have a joint venture. I have a co-developer of a program called Marketing Organized, or Keep Your Customers for Life. And if you go to marketingorganized.com, you can start to see some information on that. But that one specifically addresses the marketing arena. Rochelle Shaw has some very targeted ways to address marketing and specific strategies. And she was finding that she was sharing these strategies and people didn't know where to get started. So we have combined our efforts to help marketing be more organized, and she explains the specific marketing project. And again, this is an audio and a notebook program. She explains one particular marketing strategy, and then I have the second half of the call and the second half with follow-up of the checklist of, if you're going to do this strategy, here's how you're going to do it. Here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, here's step 4. Because so many times in business what happens is that we know we want to do something, and we kind of see that end. Yes, we want to do this type of marketing project, or we want to set this up, and it's down the road, and sometimes what paralyzes us is how are we going to get there? And so that's one of the other things that I've done is to, you know, with the organized home-based business and with the marketing organized, is give people a blueprint and a checklist of, you don't have to know what step number 10 is. Right now, just look at step number 1, answer that And you can work your way to the end of this project very simply by just answering one question at a time.
And you make a very good point that sometimes people are just feeling overwhelmed by looking at what they want the end result to be, and they forget just look at step one first.
Right.
One little baby step at a time.
Right. You know, and I'll steal a phrase from The Secret, and one of the things that they talk about in there, I don't know if you remember the particular segment, but where he's saying that, you know, you can drive from New York to California at night, and your headlights are only going to shine so far in front of you, and as long as you know just what you need to do in that particular illuminated area, you still see that you're going to get to California and follow the map, but you only have to know what's right in front of you at that moment.
That's perfect. That's a great way to look at it. Is there anything you'd like to add? You shared so many valuable pieces of information. Is there anything you'd like to add to all of this?
The only thing real briefly is that when it comes to solutions, one of the things that I sure help all of my clients do, and I always encourage people, and that is to, as you're looking for solutions, look to automation. And sometimes that automation can come through paper, and sometimes most likely that automation comes through the digital world. And if I can just kind of talk about that very briefly, because there's, you know, I still encounter people who say, I have my day runner, paper planner, and calendar, and I'm not going to give it up. And there are people that want to transition into digital, and I'm just going to use that example to make a couple of points about doing that. That automation is great. And again, it's an investment. You have to really fully look at moving from paper to digital in whatever arena it is, and fully look at how that digital aspect is going to work for you. And is that going to be the most efficient? Is it going to be the most effective? And just to throw in an example is that if you start with something that's in paper and you say, oh no, I'm going to be paperless. And so you put it into a digital format. But then for you to actually use it, you have to turn around and print it out and have it be in paper format. That's wasting your time. It's wasting your ink. It's wasting paper. It's wasting so many things. So always look at what is the best end result of how you're going to be using something. And if it's in paper, fully create that automation in paper. If it's in digital, fully create it in digital. And if you are going to transition from one to the other, one of the things that I always suggest to people is go into that digital arena, learn it, understand how to use it, and then make a clean break of going from paper to digital. What happens is, and if you can picture somebody standing on a dock, and they have 1 foot on the dock and 1 foot in the boat. And as it continues to spread that, you know, you're trying to do more digital, but you're still wanting to hold on to the paper, and you're trying to do more digital, and you're still holding on to the paper, as that starts to spread out, what happens is sooner or later you're going to fall in the water. And what happens is if you keep trying to touch base in both arenas, something slips through the crack. And the worst part of it is if it is something related to a client or a customer and you have missed that because you were trying to juggle 2 different arenas. It's enough to juggle one schedule. Don't put yourself in the position where you have to juggle it in both. But you know, technology is a great tool. There's so many things that you can create that will help you automate and make things go faster for you. And the most wonderful thing about when you automate any kind of system or process is that not only does it save you time, but it's also really easy to delegate, that you can turn around and have somebody else do that automated process because you've created that.
Thank you, Brenda, for all your insight and great practical suggestions. I mean, it's truly appreciated, and I know our listeners are really going to take heart of everything you said, and it was so practical. Tell us once again where we can find you on the web.
You can find me directly at balorg.com, BALORG.com, and that's probably the best and that's the shortest URL.